Hello, my name is Paul Cefalu, and I'm the author of App Creator Pro. App Creator is an iPhone application that is available on the App Store today. So, App Creator is a programming language that I created that will allow anybody to create elaborate iOS applications for personal use without knowing anything about iOS, without knowing anything about Objective-C. You don't need a Mac and you don't need a PC. Everything is done right on the iPhone. So App Creator Pro will make your iPhone an extension of your imagination. So this is a tutorial video, and we're going to create a application. It's your typical Hello World application, but we're going to do it in iPhone style. And we're going to use App Creator Pro to do this. So this will show you certain features and capabilities of App Creator that I think will help you in expanding how you view App Creator. All right, so let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create and edit a project. We'll take a basic application template. We'll create it as new, so a copy is made in the sandbox. The sandbox is where we develop applications. So the first thing we need to do is we need to change the project name because the default name is there. Now you can keep the default name if you're doing something quickly, but the problem with keeping the default name is that once you start getting a bunch of these gee-whiz quick programs, project 1, project 2, project 3 really makes no sense. So, but the idea is that if you wanted to try something quick and then discard it, App Creator Pro creates unique names for everything so that you can easily do that. And this is typically to do something very simple and quick and just to check out something. So let's go to the project info, and we need to change the project name. So we'll go up here to the I up at the top. We'll press that, and we'll see that the editor comes up to change the project name. We'll clear it, and then we'll call the project name. We'll call the project name Hello World. Be good if I could spell. Hello World. Okay, let's call this Hello World Demo. All right, so we'll press Done. And you'll see now it's called Hello World Demo. Now the other thing you want to do is you want to change the icon so that it relates to the name. Right now this is the default icon. So we'll go to the I in the icon section, and we'll look for an icon that would be appropriate for our example. There we go. We'll use a globe. So we'll pick this one. Okay, and then we'll say Done. All right, so there's our icon. And now we pretty much defined everything. I mean, we really should give a description as well, which you'll find out on the next page. Okay, there. And we'll go to the description tab. We'll click the I, and we'll do this, and we'll give it a description. So this will display Hello World. Hello World. when screen gets a single tap. Single tap. Okay? All right, so the description reads, this will display hello world when screen gets a single tap. So we can make it a little bit more elaborate, and what we'll do is we'll do on double tap, on double tap, hello world will disappear. All right. Will be hidden. Okay, so all right, this will display hello world when screen gets a single tap. On double tap, hello world will be hidden. All right, let's save that. We'll say we're done. All right, so now we have a description. We have a main form that we're going to start with, since we only have one form. That's all we need. We have our icon. We have our name. Today's date is done for you automatically. Version 1 is fine. The author is fine. We don't have to change that. So now we'll have to, we'll go back and we'll see that the edit here, it says Hello World Demo. Okay, if you want to see what the about information looks like, you'll see that here is our icon. Here's Hello World Demo. Okay. So, all right, let's, all right, so we're done with that. Okay, all right, so now we need to create the display. So we'll go to Displays. This will give us a list of all the forms that are in our project. Since we only have one form, that's why you only see one, and we'll select that one. That takes us into the display form editor. And here is where we need to go to form attributes. Form attributes are the characteristics of the form. Background color, wallpaper, anything of that type of information. So we need to go there to make the change. All right, that would give us the forms attribute editor. We don't need to change the name because that's fine. And what we want to do is we want to add wallpaper. So here we go, wallpaper. So we'll press the I. Okay, and now the wallpaper editor comes up. We'll have to increase the opacity. So what we're looking for is that we don't want it completely solid, 100% opacity. So let's do it about, we'll do it about 40% opacity. All right, that way it looks like a watermark. We'll say aspect fit. That way at least the world looks round. Okay, and that's it. So there's the wallpaper. So now we have the wallpaper, and it tells you what the aspect ratio is and the size of the wallpaper and so forth. Okay. All right, so we don't need any widgets right now. I mean, they'll show you there. These are just different parts of App Creator. So we've created the wallpaper. All right. And all right, now what we need to do is we need to have a label to put on the form. So before we do that, let's see what our form looks like. This will show us what our form looks like, and as you can see, there's the world. Okay, in the center of the screen, it's at 40% opacity. Okay, so now we need a label, a widget. Form widgets are items that get put on the form, like a label, a button, a panel, text box, and so forth. These are all known as form widgets. So we need to create a form widget which essentially will have the word Hello World on it. So since we don't have any controls, control is also another word used for widgets. All right, they're interchangeable. Okay, so we'll take one from the App Creator library. Okay, we'll see we have 4 choices that are available to us: label, text box, panel, and a switch. So we'll take the label, and then we'll say done. All right, so now we get a list. Now we're looking at a list of all the controls that are on this form. In this case, there's only one control, so that's why we'll go and select it, and that'll put us into the control editor. Now, we could change the label here if we had many other labels, but just for the reason for the demo, we don't need to, but you should give the name of the label something that makes sense. Okay, but for this example, we could use the default. So we'll need to come back to visibility in a moment. But the first thing we need to do is we need to change the caption, which is right now is just label, and we need to change that. So we'll clear that line, and we need to change that to Hello World. Okay, so we have that. We say done. So now you'll see the caption is Hello World. Now, if we look at this right now, okay, we'll go to display. What you'll see is that the Hello World label is all the way up here, but it's truncated. Okay, and that's because the width of the label is smaller than the actual text that's in the label. So what we could do is that we select the label, all right, and we can move it down to the middle here. All right, now also notice we have a background, so we'll want to eliminate the background color as well. Okay, so we'll say done for now. We'll save the changes we just made. And now we've got to go to the dimensions section, and we've got to increase the width accordingly. But the other thing we're going to do is that we're going to change the size of the text. So for that, we need to go back to the caption. We need to go to fonts. All right, and we have to select the font that is, maybe 20. Let's see, 24. That's a little too big. Let's do 22. Okay, so we'll see what that looks like. So we've changed the font, so now we'll say done, and you'll notice that you'll see that the font, the text is much bigger. So now we have to find a width and a height that will allow this text to be displayed. Okay. So the other thing is that, see, it says background color. Right now the background color was taupe. So what we want to do is we want to make the background color clear. Okay. And we'll leave it, we don't have to customize it anymore. We're satisfied with just clear. So now this won't give us a background, and you'll just see the word. We may want to change the color. Right now the color is black. Let's make the color, let's make it this color of a cancel button. Okay, we're satisfied with this. We don't have to customize the color anymore. So that's the color. And now we've got to set up the width. This is pretty big, so let's go to dimensions. All right, we'll go to width. We'll clear the width, and we'll try 200 pixels. Okay, for the width. And the height, we'll do 50. All right, let's see how that works out. We'll say done. Okay, so now we'll display it, go view it, and you'll see that now we see the entire word. And all we have to do is just center it. So we can center it. Hello world, just like that. Okay, and now you see it's hello world. So we'll say done. We'll save the changes. Okay, so now we've defined a label. We have it on the world. We have it in the position where we want it, but the label is visible. So the last step we're going to do is we're going to go and make the label invisible. So we'll turn visible off. So if we go and look again, now you'll see you don't see the label. The label is there, but it's invisible. It's hidden. All right, because we want to show the label when we single tap, and we want to hide the label when we double tap. Okay, all right, so we're done with the label. Now let's go back to the form editor, and what we need to do now is we need to work with the single tap and the double tap. These are known as form events, and you'll find those down at the bottom here, where there's 3 defined for a form. There's single tap, there's double tap, and there's change view. So right now we're interested in single tap and double tap. At any time, if you want to know what these things mean and their descriptions, you can press the I, it'll give you a description. Okay, or you can go to the help, and then the help will give you a hypertext version of the documentation. Okay, so you always have that available to you. All right, so let's go. Now we have to write our code so that when a single tap occurs, it displays the label. All right, so let's go to single tap. You see there is no codes listed. It's no listing, so we got to add a line of code. And now we see that we have a choice of an assignment statement, an if-then condition, an equation statement, or just cancel the request. So what we want to do is that we want to assign a value to the visibility property of the label, so that right now it's false. We want to make it true. So we're going to do an assignment statement, okay, because we want to assign the property value of the label to true, so that the visible, so that it's true and we can see it. All right, so now we'll get the assignment editor. You notice up top it'll tell you the name of the event, so you know what that is. All right, and it's broken. An assignment has a left-hand side, a right-hand side, or you can have a function in place of the assignment. A function works well as an assignment. So think of the set to is what's on the left-hand side of the equation, and the get from is on the right-hand side of the equation, and that's why they're in that order. So we'll go set to. Now we get a list of things to set. What is it that we want to set? Well, we want to set an attribute of a widget. Okay, the label is a widget, or also known as a control, and a property like visibility is an attribute. So we select attribute. And now we're given the choice. It says, where is the widget? Is it on a form or is it on a view? Well, it's on a form. So we'll select form. Then it's going to say, which form is it on? Since we only have one form, this is the form that we choose. Now you'll see that it says, here's a list of widgets that are on that form. And as you can see, here's our default name that we used, controls 1. Okay? So we'll select that. And now it gives us attributes that are accessible for the label. We can change the text, we can change the text color, we can change the background color, we can enable the label, we can make the label invisible, or we can assign a tag to the label. A tag is a way of storing data with that variable so that you can use it later for other computations. So we want visible, so we'll select visible. And now you'll see that on the left-hand side of the equation, you'll see it's form, control 1, the attribute, visible. And now we have to do the left-hand side. Right now it says null because we haven't assigned a left-hand side yet. So we'll go to get from. Now, what is it that we want to do? We want to assign the value to true and false. So this is what's known as a constant value. I'm not getting the value from another widget. I'm not getting the value from another view or a form or a variable. I'm assigning a discrete value of either true or false to the visible property of the label. So we want constant value. Now, because App Creator Pro knows that that's a label and it's the visible property of the label, it gives you the only two choices that you could do for your choice, and that is either false, keep it hidden, or true, make it visible. So we want true. So now you'll see the statement reads the main form, the control, the attribute, visible, and equals the value true. All right, so we're done with that. We say save. All right, and here's our first line of code. Okay, so we're done, and we'll go here, we'll leave the function. All right, now we have to do the double tap. So we'll select the double tap. We'll add a line of code because it's new. Now this is an assignment statement, the same thing. The only difference is now, instead of setting the visible attribute to true, we're going to set it back to false. And that will hide the hello world. So let's take an assignment statement again. We have the assignment editor. We need to select what it is we're going to change. It's a widget attribute. That widget is on a form. The form is form main form. Here's our control that we want to change. And we want to change visible is the property. All right. So now we have to do the null side. We say get form. Notice through this whole process, I know nothing about iOS. I know nothing about Objective-C. And I'm doing it all on the iPhone. So again, a constant value. We want to change it back to false. We select false. So here it is false. Okay. Then we say done. We say save. And now here's our line of code. We say done. We leave the function editor. All right. We leave the events editor. Okay. And now we're ready to run our application. So we need to get back to the application development menu. And you'll notice down at the bottom it says play. Well, this will allow us to actually run the program. All right. So let's click play. You see there's a splash screen with the World Hello World demo. It's loading. And here is our world. And if I tap the screen, you'll see Hello World. And if I double tap the screen, Hello World disappears. See how easy? Well, that concludes our demo. And we'll have some more of these app tutorials in the future. And they will become more and more elaborate. This is just an introduction to get you started. All right? Well, catch you next time. Thank you.